Hey there, I'm Dan Esselforest, and I'm going to try and answer the questions you've been asking about the US elections. The first one, what will be the deciding factors or topics in the 2020 elections and why? There are a lot of factors in any election, but in this one, in 2020, I think it's obvious that the COVID-19 pandemic is really the biggest factor, both in how the elections are taking place and what topics are on American voters' minds right now. So how that plays out, it's been politicized to such an extent that it's hard to tell. Biden clearly has the advantage in this area for the majority of voters, but that is certainly going to be the biggest topic. Question number two, are these elections still about politics and policy, or maybe more about money, media, power, and fraud? I hate to break it to you, but elections, not just American elections, have been about all of those things every time. Whoever has the most money has the most access to the audience through media, through visibility, through campaigns, and the extent to which media play a role in that is always tremendous. So I don't think it's really an either-or question. Every election is the product of both policy and politics on the one hand, and money, media, power, and fraud on the other. The third question is a really, really interesting one. How fragile is the US as a democracy with polarization, voter suppression, the Electoral College, Congress, the Supreme Court, and what could the effect of a new president, either Trump or Biden, be on that? Many people have pointed out that the political system of the United States is an antique. It's the product of negotiations between slave-owning states that were a minority and more progressive states that were a majority in terms of voters. And in order to keep enough power, they've always held on to that. And many people have said, well, this is not really democratic. It never really has been. So it's long overdue for an overhaul. Hopefully, a new president would do that. If it's Trump, it won't happen. If it's Biden, it might, though it's going to be an uphill battle either way. And finally, question number four, why does our country seem to be so obsessed with the US elections? Is it because the outcomes might affect us here in the Netherlands? Are there other reasons? America is the one remaining superpower in the world, so whatever the outcome of a presidential election, and remember, in America, the president has much more power than a prime minister in another more normal democracy. So there are a lot of reasons why not just the Netherlands, but most countries are so obsessed with outcomes of US presidential elections. Another reason is our media are so saturated by American pop culture that we're just used to that kind of election idea and that kind of media hype. That's my best answer. They're short, but you're going to have to, hopefully they'll give you a couple of pointers. See you around.